All right, take one. It's been a little while again, and sorry that I'm back with more of the same after indicating, and I might have said this in the previous video, indicating that I'd be back with something a little different, but I haven't really had time for much else, including this lately. I've been playing this going through these games at a slower rate after the first 50 or 60 or so. But I want to show this game because the New York Islanders and the Washington Capitals, they both have really good records so far in this replay. And I kind of just wanted to take two teams that have really good records and put them against each other. Right now, after 7 games, the Islanders have a record of 5-2, and they'll be on the road for this one. And at home is Washington. Washington has a 6-1 record coming into this game. So, and I can actually look and see that Washington's lone loss, because I've been keeping track of that as well. Washington's only loss that they have so far is against the New Jersey Devils, who themselves actually have a really good record, as I recall. Just double checking on that here. The Devils are 6-2 right now after 8 games. So the Patrick Division has some teams that are doing really well because, of course, Pittsburgh was in the Patrick Division. They finished first overall in the NHL that season historically, and they are also off to a 6-2 start here this season. But these two teams that are on the desktop right now are two teams that I'm pretty sure I've not featured in any other game that I've done from this season replay. This is game 95, actually, of 1008. As mentioned, I've kind of slowed down for the past, I'm going to say 20 or 30 games or so. And in real life at this point, these teams were both middling. The Islanders coming into this game, they won this game 5-2 in real life. This is a replay of a game that took place on October 23rd, 1992. So this was 6 months before the playoffs incident. These teams met one another in the playoffs. And I was looking at this earlier on April 28th. Infamously, Pierre Turgeon scores a goal. Dale Hunter basically cheap shots Turgeon after the goal. Turgeon falls awkwardly into the boards. Honestly, I'm probably gonna catch whatever for saying it, but looking at the replay of it decades later, I'm not saying that it wasn't bad, but it wasn't quite as brutal as I recalled. And I think part of the reason for that is just that I feel like I've seen worse since then. But I mean, don't get me wrong, it was still really bad. I can't remember exactly how long Hunter was suspended. I know I was reminded that Turgeon returned to the playoffs and did play in the series against Montreal as well, and he returned. I think it was after Game 6. So at least for the final game or two against Pittsburgh in the following series as well to help the Islanders win that series against the Penguins. So what else did I want to get through before this game? Yeah, so I digress like I do best. The Islanders came into this one, well, in real life, I mean, they came into this one with a record of 3-3-1, and the Capitals were 3-4. And then the Islanders won the game by final score of 5-2, so they improved to 4-3-1 after this game, and the Capitals fell to 3-5. One thing I'm doing differently for this game, and it doubles as an opportunity to mention another game, is that I'm using a double deck here. So this is 108 cards instead of 54. I've actually never done this for a game of DoC hockey before. And for a shorter replay, I don't think I would do something like this. I think this is one benefit of a longer replay. Call this kind of like, this could be like the equivalent of like a game played in an outdoor arena or something where there are just more elements and more factors, and things could get even more lopsided than just like a normal standard in-arena NHL game. So I don't plan on doing this routinely, but the reason right now I have a double deck and I'm working with limited time here, and that's another reason I've not been playing as much. But there's a really cool game right now. It's if you go to Tabletop Sports and click on Game News, and you could just search for, actually, it's called Maritime Hockey League Game. And the gentleman who's putting it together, I believe his name is Christopher Rohan, and I apologize if I have your surname incorrect. I know as somebody with a surname that people frequently get incorrect. Like, obviously, I don't mean anything. I don't mean anything bad by it. I don't know how that sounds. Probably sounds childish or whatever. But hopefully, you know what I mean. I apologize if I have your name incorrect, because. I know. I want to say, like, I know how that gets and how that feels, but I know, like, as a kid whose name was frequently pronounced incorrectly when I went to school, by high school, I would just tell teachers, yeah, close enough. It was just like, even in middle school, I think by the end of middle school, it's just, I stopped caring. So but that's me, right? That's just me. And I'm kind of a weirdo. So more than kind of a weirdo. Anyway. So now that this is nearly 5 minutes old, I'm going to be using the double deck, and it's because I've been playing around. Though it's been a little while, I really, really want to get at it soon. It's just even more time consuming. Not in a bad way. It's a great full play hockey game, actually. And it's called Maritime Hockey League game, and it's based on this excellent punk rock era in more ways than one, where players who happen to be black, happen to be of color, were ridiculously unable to play in what I guess white hockey leagues existed at the time. So they basically made their own league. It was it was done in baseball decades later. I think, actually, I got to be careful. I'm no baseball historian, but it is pretty cool that hockey has its own version of that around the turn of the 20th century, late 1800s, early 1900s. So his game is based on that. It's based on the history. It's based on, there's a book called Black Ice that I bought a copy for my father, but have not bought a copy for myself. And I guess an updated version of that's coming out too, so that'll be something to be on the lookout for, the updated version. So anyway, I wanted to get that plug in there because that is an excellent game that also uses playing cards excellently. But this is going to be a game of DoC, and it will be done a little differently because I'm using the double deck, the setup for Maritime Hockey League game. So anyway, now that we're over 6 minutes in, we'll get this first period underway. And the Joker is going to mean Dale Hunter, actually, the aforementioned Dale Hunter. What I've been doing with Jokers, though, recently is if they have red on them, I'll still give it to the top. So Dale Hunter has the puck. Hunter maneuvers it through to Peter Bondra. This should be a surefire goal, done deal. And with the 10, indeed, that is what it is. So right off the bat here, it's going to be Peter Bondra scoring from Dale Hunter. Probably about 2 minutes in, we'll say. And is there a secondary assist on the goal, the Queen of Hearts? So would that be, I was going to say Randy Jones. That'd be Keith Jones. So Keith Jones, I see the K Jones there. I cheated. Picking up the secondary helper on Bondra's goal. Bondra from Hunter and Jones. And here's another Joker, and this would be a Joker from a different deck. So this is already giving the advantage to Washington. So Washington, we'll say Ridley this time for variety's sake. Ridley feeds it through on to the aforementioned Keith Jones. And Jones with the Kings. So looking over here, actually starting goaltenders. Sometimes I wait until especially when I'm trying to blitz through a couple of games. So it was Healy and Net. Sorry, I should have said this, figured this out off the top. Healy and Net historically for the Islanders. And actually, he needs Red Kings or a King of Clubs. Healy, really good net minding in the 92-93 season. Really good numbers for that era. So this will be a goal. Don Beaupre started for the Capitals, and Kings or Queen of Hearts will solve Beaupre. But this is going to be a second goal. Sorry to be all anticlimactic. We're almost 8 minutes in now. It is 2-0 Washington already. Barely 5 minutes into this hockey game. Still in the first period, of course. And that was, again, didn't it go to 9 and then 4 went to Keith Jones, right? Keith Jones here with the second goal from Mike Ridley. Secondary helper on the goals. Michael Pavanka, who got off to a really hot start. I'm curious, actually. I got the spreadsheet here on the computer in front of me, just off camera. Michael Pavanka was up to 12 points coming into this game. Now he has 13, 3 goals, and that was his 10th assist on the season. Again, this is Washington's 8th game. You get stuff like that early in seasons, though. So Sylvain Cote, it's been all Washington thus far. Into the third sequence here, the first period. Cote, a couple of 5s, so he won't be able to play that through to anybody with a chance to score. And so into the fourth sequence we go, where again it's all Washington. That's Kelly Miller. Kelly Miller with the 9 through to Ali Afridi. Ali Afridi with a 105-mile-per-hour slap shot with a wooden stick from the point. And Afridi with the Queen, and that's got to hurt. Afridi and Glenn Healy both, actually. Healy makes the stop. So to the fifth sequence we go here in the first period, where we get a 7. That's Tom Curvers for the Islanders. Their first possession here, Curvers, and he'll be able to create a chance. Curvers back for Norton. Inside the point, Norton shoots. And that's going to be stopped. So to the 15-minute mark, we go here with a 3. Bobby Carpenter. Carpenter, that will Red Kings and King of Spades, that will penetrate the Islanders' defense. Veteran Bobby Carpenter. The feed for Dale Hunter. Hunter looking for another point here. And the King of Spades. Again, Red Kings and the King of Clubs. So that is an excellent stop by Glenn Healy. To the 17.5-minute mark here, the first period, where it's Washington again. Ali Afridi. Afridi with a 2. So he bobbles the puck or coughs it up in the final sequence here in the first frame. And that is, I should double check actually. I feel like I might have played a period and some change. Where was the 2? Yeah, so the 2 and the Queen and 10, which would have been a goal. But 10 here, so it's going to be Washington, Kevin Hatcher here in the final couple of minutes. Hatcher 10 is automatically through. To the ace, Peter Bondra, looking for another goal here. And the 3, it's just barely enough. It trickles just over the line. So despite a couple of dynamic stops from Glenn Healy there, trying to keep the game close and keep the Islanders in it, it is the Caps here taking a 3-0 lead at the end of 20 minutes. So I'm going to pause and probably not shuffle, actually, because, again, I'm working with a double deck, so I'll make an exception. But I want to pause and count and make sure I didn't screw anything up too badly. So 34 cards used, which also means that I need to get a secondary assist here. Again, that was Bondra from, it was Kevin Hatcher, and 8 of diamonds is Calle Johansson. So, yeah, I'm going to just start the second period. So it's 3-0 after 1. We'll move this back, put this in the second. Normally I don't use this at the desktop, but I should. I like it. I tend to enjoy it more with the color in front of me. Anyway, it's going to be a 6 here, so I can't remember how to pronounce his name. Pat Elenuik or Elenuck? I think I might have just added. Again, as a kid, too, you say names and you cheat and you say them in easy ways. When I was a little boy when this was ongoing. So anyway, Elynuik, Elenuck. I want to say Elenuck. I think it was Elenuck, or at least that's what play-by-play and color announcers would say. Elenuck successfully fed through to Peter Bondra, looking for the hat trick. Bondra with the queen of diamonds. So Healy says no, sir, and we go to the 5-minute mark, where it's Islanders team player. 10, we'll say this is going to be Brian Mullen potentially. Mullen with the 9 indeed successfully fed through onto another team player here for the Islanders. This will be at least a 6-card sequence. And I'm going to say Darius Kasparaitis from Brian Mullen. Kasparaitis with a jack of hearts. That'll be a fairly easy save, actually, for Don Beaupre after all that. So does Travis Green there, former Canucks coach Travis Green. Mark Ruffalo looking guy that he is, for those into, I don't know, Hollywood actors, I guess, and hulks. So Green, he hulks it through, actually. 2 onto Pierre Turgeon. This should be a done deal. Turgeon, however, I'm not going to injure him. That would be, I wanted to say ironic, but not really. Turgeon getting injured in a game against the Capitals. Anyway, we're just going to say that's a decent stop, excuse me, for Beaupre. And I will count again, because it feels like, am I really up to the 10-minute mark already? This is a fast-playing game, even when you're talking. So Carpenter, again, a successful feed through. He threads the needle. Actually, Carpenter, I stand corrected, solo effort, maybe a give-and-go pass there. Carpenter with yet another 3, though. So it's going to be an 8, and that will mean the Islanders here possession. That is Jeff Norton. And Joker means automatic loss for the visiting team as I play it, and as I'm pretty sure it is in the rules as well. And 5, Marty McGuinness here with the puck. McGuinness, that should not penetrate the Capitals' defense, and indeed it doesn't. To 17 and a half minutes we go, and I'm going to double check after this period too. It is the Capitals team player 7. I'm going to say Paul McDermott, because I can't remember which Cavallini, probably Gino Cavallini, but we'll say Paul McDermott for this one. The 8th, that'll make a play from the Washington team. So McDermott off the bench sets up Kevin Hatcher. Snapshot 4, and that's all that he needs, and it's 4-0 in this game. 4-0, another late period goal here from the Caps. I'm actually going to check after this one. Hatcher from, my goodness, my short-term memory sucks. I said Paul McDermott, right? Was that that sequence started with the Paul McDermott, the team player? Okay, Hatcher from Paul McDermott. And 6 of hearts, that's Dmitry Kristich. So let me pause and check to see if there is indeed another sequence here to play in the second. Okay, so 67 cards have come out of the deck right now, but even though there was only the 1 goal scored, for which I did get the secondary assist, Kristich, there were also multiple team card draws in this period that weren't there before. So I'm pretty sure, like 28, and then the goal would be 29, and then I want to say there are only 3 or 4 team cards drawn, so that should only add up to, like, I don't know, 32, but there were like 30. There was more than 32 in the first period as well, 35 at least. You know what? There's definitely one more sequence. What am I talking about? So, and it'll be the Islanders with the puck. The Islanders and Marty McGuinness will have another go with it, and unable to feed anyone successfully. So I think what I'm going to, and that would have been a goal. Snap. Derek King would have scored there. So anyway, the Islanders have been given junk cards through this, but I think because I've still got about some 40-odd cards left or close to it, let me actually try to play through with the cards that are left just to keep things simple here. So we're going to say this is the start of the third period. We'll go back to the first sequence here, doing things a little differently each time. And that is Dale Hunter with the puck for Washington, so never mind what I said seconds ago, but at least the Islanders team defense will be able to wrap that up and take it away. And Calle Johansson here the following shift. Johansson with a 4. That's not going to be any good for Washington. And the 4 now from Tom Fitzgerald on the Islanders. Fitzgerald with a 2. So he'll just elect to dump it. And to the halfway, the midway of the period here, it's Calle Johansson. Johansson with a 3. So again, maybe there's only junk remaining for both teams here in the final frame. It's Ally Afraidy with a puck again here, and a 2. Here's all the 2s and 3s coming up now. So to the 15-minute mark we go, and it's all Caps, and they're up 4-0 already, so I don't even think the Islanders are pulling at this point. Absolutely no run support here for Glenn Haley, and I won't say what Beaupre could be on his way to, but at the 15-minute mark, right, because the 2 and then 7 and 8, okay. So Kelly Miller with the puck here, starting off the sequence. Miller with the ace automatically through. Miller on to Keith Jones, looking for his second of the night. He won't get it. 2.5 minutes to go here. The Islanders looking to at least get on the scoreboard is Jeff Norton. Norton, though, with the jack. Again, I won't injure him, but I suppose I could take him out of the game. There's some things that I could do. There's always little things I could do differently. Anyway, final sequence. Mike Ridley's got an assist in this game already. He has a chance at another. It falls to the Washington team. I'm going to say May has picked up points for Buffalo. I'm quite sure that's Brad May. I'm going to say Calle Johansson here again, though. So Ridley back for Johansson. Time running out. Let's see. Ace or 7-10. And just missing is Johansson with that. So anyway, there you go. 3 periods. And your final score is 4-0. So I did things a little differently. Again, this is only one game. And if it's any consolation for Long Island Islanders fans out there, Washington, you could say, did have the better record coming into this. Again, their one loss so far in this replay is a 1-goal loss to New Jersey, and New Jersey has a 6-2 record. So their one loss has been to a team with a good record. Beyond that, the Capitals have 2 wins over the Rangers, for which they should get no credit. The Rangers is probably the team I'll feature next year. I want to see if they can win their first in 9 games. They are 0-8 to begin the season, at the bottom of the league standings. Never would have predicted that. But yeah, Washington, other than that, they're just kind of beating up on their division here, picking apart their division. There is that game against Ottawa and Buffalo, a couple of Adams division teams. But and actually they kicked off their season with a win over the Maple Leafs. So there's that. Anyway, as always, anytime, any consideration you give to anything like this, I mean, it's never expected. It's just a guy at his desk with some decks of cards and Uno cards and DoC hockey cards playing hockey. But, this is stuff that I like to check out. I actually have, I'll plug another game. It's a game that, like Hockey Blast a few years ago, I bought it, and I don't know when the heck I'm ever going to be able to play it. I've got stuff for 49 Hockey, the quick decks, and I think I got the highlights upgrade, but I should double check on that, actually. I should go through my PayPal purchases. And I'll get that stuff eventually either way and get some 49 on my desk eventually at some point. One of these years, right? One of these years. Why was I talking about that? Oh, because I got sort of a backlog of videos on YouTube that, again, next time I'm playing through something like this or set up Maritime Hockey League game, I'll probably put on some stuff. Might just put it on even without playing around. It's so what I mean is, it's good to check out community stuff, of course, right? I'm not just saying that to be nice. And so, yeah, therefore, again, I know this is obviously not for everybody, but anytime, any consideration, if you just want to check out the score or something, if you're a Caps fan, it's all greatly appreciated, right? It all counts for something. So, all right, thank you. Cheers. This is iced coffee this time, and bye for now.